Muted. Okay, so we're gonna first, I'm gonna share an image, but is there anyone else that wants to cover any particular topic specifically today? Anything pressing? No. Yes. Nothing. Okay. All right. So let me share with you this. And if you feel like it's not relevant to you, Jamie, it will not hurt my feelings if you pop off. Okay. All right. So can you guys see this image that I have here of an emerald?
No.
No, there's nothing there.
Let's try this again. How's that?
Yes.
Woo! Okay. So let me just start off by saying this, that the reason why it's important for me to share with you the importance of emerald is because regardless, if you're doing this business as just like a hobby, or if you actually want to build a business that's going to bring six figures, right? Those are like two contrasting things. You need to be profitable, right? So like my goal is to help all of you be profitable, which means one, covering the cost of your own Shakeology as soon as possible, because that at least gets your Shakeology paid for. And then two, just getting you profitable, whether that's $50 in commission, just getting you profitable. So that's why Emerald is important, because I'm going to talk about how it builds wealth. So it is a decision to become an Emerald coach. And you might be sitting there being like, not really. I'm sending out invites and I can't find anybody that wants to say yes. So we're going to talk about why it's beneficial to sign a spouse up, because if you do that, you don't have to keep the spouse active. You don't have to have anything on HD immediately, but you want to save the best spot in your downline for a spouse, a brother, a sister, a child, a sibling, somebody. And I will explain why. This stuff gets confusing, guys. So if you hang up and you're still sort of wondering, oh my gosh, what's this all about? You're going to go through it in training again. But it literally takes 5 to 10 times to hear this for it to make sense. So first and foremost, what is an emerald? An emerald is when you have you at the top of your organization, and you have two coaches underneath your org. So I'm going to draw it out total old school here, but this is you, and then this is coach one, and this is coach two. Okay, everybody can see that. It's super, 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 super easy. Okay, that right there is an emerald coach. You plus two people. Now, the reason that emerald is important is because once you become an emerald coach, you are eligible for leads, which we're going to talk about in a second. And you are also eligible for team cycle bonus, which is the more complicated topic that I'll get to second. Let's talk about leads, okay? So I'm going to stop for a second sharing, and I'm going to show you my back office so that you can actually see what it is that I'm talking about here for your leads. And this is something that's very, very important for you to share with coaches if you are growing a team. So you're in your back office, and you always get these business alerts down here, right? So you get these new customer orders. A lot of times those are your free leads, or if you send someone share a cart and they end up purchasing, you'll see right there that it basically will show you where the source is, right? It'll show you when you click on it, it'll show you where that person came from, whether or not they're a bod customer, whether or not they're Success Club. So up here is a customer program. So when you ever see customer program underneath what the source is, that basically means that you're getting that lead because you hit Success Club 5 or higher the month before. That is a free lead, okay? This woman here, if I look at her order history, you can see I got her as a lead in April. It is normal, you guys, that the very first time you get a lead for hitting Success Club 5, it will not show you what the person purchased because you're not actually making commission. So I get her name, I get her email address, I get her phone number, I get where she lives, but it will not show me what she purchased until she makes her second purchase, which then you will get commission on. So leads are super, super important, because even if you are just helping 3 people a month and you're getting the customer program leads, which are the unpaid leads, next time that customer makes a purchase, you are the coach assigned, so you will get paid in the future. So a lot of my retail commission, when I don't actually sell a challenge pack, I'm still making several $100s a week on retail commission, because after 4 years of hitting Success Club every single month, I'm hitting Success Club 5 and I'm hitting 10. When you hit both, you're getting free leads plus paid leads, because when you hit Success Club 10, you're actually getting leads where you're getting paid commission the first time. So since I've been hitting Success Club 5 and 10, I'm getting probably on average 7 leads a month. Not all of them are paid for, but many of those first initial customer leads will purchase a program, or they will respond to me and purchase something down the road. So you see, I got this girl in April, and then she must have just signed up for a free Beachbody account, and then she got her first charge after the first 2 weeks, right? You know how if you sign up for a quarterly Beachbody account, the first 2 weeks is free, and then it charges you $40 after the first 2 weeks, and then you get paid, then you get charged $40 every single quarter. So as you see here, she probably, now I can look back and figure out what she bought. She did a free Beachbody On Demand account with 2 weeks of bod, and then she got charged the $40 in May, and then she got charged the $40 again today, because she's on a quarterly basis. So I could go, I'm not going to go through it, but I could go into my Gmail, because it will show that I probably sent her an email back in April that said, hey Alicia, my name is Tracy Baldrak. I'm a real person. Here's a video of who I am, and my video needs to be updated. But I attach a YouTube video that I make for my free leads, and I say, hey, I'm a real person. This is my journey. I've lost 30 pounds. This is why I coach. These are what challenge groups are. It comes with your purchase. I am your coach. My challenge groups are open to you as part of your purchase. So she didn't get back to me, but now my second email to her is going to be, yo, Alicia, guess what? You're paying $40 a quarter. That's $160 a year for Beachbody On Demand. Guess what you could get for $160? You could get a year of Beachbody On Demand plus Shakeology. And I would say that 4 out of 10 times when I send that email, people reply and they turn into challenge packs. So it is important to become an Emerald coach, because it is these leads, if you treat them like a business, if you treat them like real leads, if you have a system for following up with them, if you have a system for reaching out to them, they will turn into residual income. Residual income makes you profitable. Again, my goal for you guys is to make you profitable, even if it's $1. First and foremost, we want that Shakeology paid for. So that's where you're getting your free leads. So if you want to know if you are eligible for free leads, you can always go into Monitor My Business, and then up here in the qualification is Lead Program Qualification. That right there shows you exactly where you are. So for instance, the lead program, customer means have you hit Success Club 5. Success Club means you've hit Success Club 10, and Coach Connection is after you become a diamond coach, you will get 3 coaches sent to you your way. So someone like Kira Smart, she became a diamond coach on her own. There are people, believe it or not, she became a coach on her own. And she was already on our team, but she had a coach at the time that had sold her a challenge pack as a customer, and Kira figured out that she actually wanted to be a coach on her own. There are people that do that. They're like, I've heard about this coaching opportunity. I don't know a coach. I'm going to sign up as a coach. They take those coaches that sign up to be a coach and they send them to diamond coaches. We average about 3 of those a year. So that's what those mean. Emerald or higher. So it will show you, am I an Emerald or higher this month? And am I qualified for next month? Yes. Am I an active Beachbody On Demand member? Yes, yes. Have I paid my $15 business services fee? Yes, yes. Am I at Success Club 5? Yes. I've already earned those because I hit Success Club 10 last month. So I'm already eligible for the current month to get free stuff. I'm at Success Club 4 right now, so I am not eligible. I've not hit Success Club 5 or 10 this month. That's why you see those X's. So that's all you need to qualify for leads, is to be an Emerald coach, to have Beachbody on demand, and to pay your $15 business services fee, which you're paying anyways. And that's where you're going to find your leads, is right there on the home page. You're going to find them in your new customer orders, or it'll say one new customer here. That's where you're going to see it. So any questions so far? Okay, so we're going to go back to the screen. Oh, yes. Go ahead, Kay.
I have 2 questions, matter of fact.
Great.
On the quarterly Beachbody on Demand,
Yeah.
if you sign somebody up for that,
Yeah.
and they decide, wow, I like it, and I'd like to go the yearly, is there a way that that can be incorporated into the 99, whatever it is that you have for a year, or do they have to pay the 40 and then turn around and pay 90 for a year, or 99?
So what I think is the easiest thing to do, Kay, that's a great question, is if somebody is like, I've run actually free groups before where they are basically signing up for a quarterly membership to get the 2 weeks free. And then I'm like, if you hate it, I'll cancel it for you, right? And then of course you get the people that are like, I absolutely love this. And we're like, okay, well, you can either pay $160 for just BOD or $160 for a challenge pack. And they decide they want the challenge pack. We call Beachbody, we cancel out the BOD, and we wait a day, and then they buy a challenge pack, like a Shakeology plus BOD challenge pack. That's the easiest way to do it.
The reason that I ask is I had a girl that I did that free 2-week thing and got her under me, but I did not know. Do they always get charged the 40?
Yes, if they sign up for the free 2 weeks, yes.
Although I have one, and I don't know. I don't know if she's doing it or not. I mean, if she's getting, I don't know where to go to find out that she is still doing it. I just show that she's a customer of mine, and so I don't know. Anyhow, the next question I have, and we'll worry about that later. The next question,
because this might be helpful to people, if you click on her customer number, it will show you her order history. And if you see that she's been charged $40, she's still using it. If there's no charges, then she canceled it on her own and never got charged.
Okay, but it is definitely, once they do the 2-week membership, I mean the trial, they have to put a credit card in and everything. That's what I read.
Yes, if they want the trial, they have to go and sign up for a 3-month quarterly, and it forces them to put their credit card information in and says you will be billed in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Now, if somebody is not comfortable doing that, they can sign up for a free Beachbody membership, and when they get the free Beachbody membership, before the firewall is Clean Week. So someone can get Clean Week for just doing a free Beachbody membership, and they don't have to put any credit card information in. If they want to really try out BOD, they put the credit card information in, 2 weeks is free, and then they get billed after the 2 weeks.
Okay. Can you do all that with the share cart?
Probably. I usually use Link Generator, but I'm pretty sure you can use the share cart. Yeah.
Okay. I have one more question.
Yeah, this is what it's for. Go for it.
Okay. On this Emerald, what is Emerald? It was 2 coaches on each leg. What if one of the coaches on your leg, on the left, I think, has gone inactive?
It's a great question.
But you have someone underneath the right that's active, but they're only inactive for a short period.
Yeah. So in order for you to be an Emerald coach, you need to have a coach on your left and a coach on your right making 50 PV.
Right. 50
PV can be 3 boxes of beach bars. 50 PV can be a 3-day refresh, right? 50 PV can be a performance stack, which is recovery and energize. And so if they go inactive, you'll see in your back office, they will turn red when they hit like day 28, 29 maybe, because you need to have 50 PV every 35 days. So they'll turn red a few days before, like saying, hey, this person is looking like they're going to go inactive. And if one of your coaches goes inactive, then you go from Emerald to coach.
Yeah, I know.
And then as soon as they put an order in, that's going to be 50 PV. You have 35 days to know that that person is going to be active. So now you're an Emerald coach again.
So Tracy, I'm speaking basically of myself. Do I take someone who is active on the other side and bring them up where that person is, because that person may not be active for a while?
If you want to earn team cycle bonus and leads, yes, you would just need to have another coach. That's why when we talk about a stable Emerald or a stable diamond, the very first time you go Emerald, it's shaky, right? Just like when we first hit diamond, it's shaky because diamonds, you have to have 4 coaches on each side, and one of those 4 coaches on both sides have to be an Emerald. And it's always shaky. It's very common. You'll see when Tracy T puts the banner up every Thursday, people are moving ranks all the time, right? Like I haven't been a 6-star diamond in like 3 months because one of my 6 diamonds hasn't been diamond because one of her emeralds dropped, right? So like you're always sort of dropping. But if you want to maintain emerald status and make sure that you are always receiving team cycle bonus, which we're going to talk about next, and always eligible for the leads, what makes you a really stable emerald is having 2 coaches underneath each leg, so that if one of them goes inactive, you've got that stability right there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So can I go in there and change the placement again?
When we're talking about you specifically, let's do that one-on-one, because that you can only change the placement the first 5 days that they are a coach, but
Okay.
you could also upgrade a customer. So we'll talk about that, or we can brainstorm different ideas on maybe helping that person figure out something else that they could use besides Shakeology if they're not ready for that to stay active.
Okay.
So if you look at the bottom, it says, what is an emerald? You plus 2 coaches, 1 on each leg. A double emerald is you plus 4 coaches, 2 on each leg, right? That makes you stable, right? And please don't think that in order to make a lot of wealth in this business, you have to be a diamond coach. If you want to build a team, then you need to be a diamond coach. But there are some coaches that are totally happy being emerald, and there are emeralds on our team that are making $2,000 a month, you guys, and they're emerald coaches. It really comes down to volume, and it comes down to you sharing what is important to you. And if it's not growing a team and you want to pay your mortgage monthly, or you want to pay for your brand new kitchen, or whatever it is, you can accomplish those goals by just creating more and more coaches as an emerald. Okay, so the triple emerald is you plus 6 coaches, 3 on each leg. And again, all of those coaches need to be active, but the deeper you go as an emerald coach, the more volume you're going to have. And don't forget, you're getting inherited volume, which is what we're going to talk about in a second. So we talked about leads. We talked about why leads are important. We've talked about how leads build residual income, even if you're just hitting Success Club 5 every single month. Success Club 10, you're getting your free leads, plus you'll get 2 to 3 paid leads. I've had paid leads where somebody just buys Beachbody On Demand for $99. I've had paid leads where people buy 2 Ultimate Resets, 2 bags of Shakeology, 2, like I've had a $600 sale that I've gotten paid on, and that's a 25% commission. So trust me when I say, when you're getting these free leads and these paid leads, it does come back to basically reimburse any expense that you've put to get yourself to be emerald. So what expense is that? Adding a spouse. So everyone who's on here has a spouse. Kay already has her spouse signed up. Irene's actually building her spouse right now. And then a couple people that are watching this are contemplating whether or not to bring the spouse on. So let me tell you about what I said when I was first told to bring on my spouse. I was like, my husband doesn't even drink Shakeology. My husband's never going to be a coach. My husband's never going to share this opportunity. Why would I pay another $160 in a challenge pack to bring my husband on? I did not understand it at all. I don't know what I would do now if my husband was not a coach, because my husband now brings in anywhere from 25 to 50% of my weekly income comes from his business account. So change your perspective right now. It's not about your husband or your mom or your sibling or your kid. This is basically a duplication of you. All right. And so I'm going to do the best I can to explain what this means. So bringing on a spouse, what happens? Okay. So you basically sell your spouse. We're just going to say spouse to make this easy. You sell your spouse a challenge pack. Maybe if you already have Beachbody On Demand, you do a To Be Mindset challenge pack for your husband, or you do a 3-day refresh challenge pack, or you do a performance line challenge pack with Lift 4 because you never bought that. Whatever. So there's different options that you can do. I love to do the 3-day refresh because what that does is you get another bag of Shakeology, or you get packets of Shakeology, which I think is key, and I'll explain why in a second, and you get a 3-day refresh. Plus, you get the commission. So you sell it to your husband for $150. The $50 commission comes back to you because you're going to go in and set your husband up for EFT. I always suggest having one account that all your Beachbody money goes to, so that when you're making purchases and when you're bringing in income, you can clearly see what your net income is and what your expenditures are. So basically you're spending $110, and then you do the 3-day refresh. You've never done it before. You do the 3-day refresh. Maybe you have done the 3-day refresh, but you weren't a sharing coach yet. And now you share the 3-day refresh on social media. So you're breadcrumbing that you're going to do this refresh. You're going to do this detox. You're going to cleanse your body using food. You don't believe in starving the body. You're on a great meal plan, but you want to break a plateau, or you've just come back from vacation, or you're getting ready to go to a wedding, whatever it is, okay? Because the idea is that you want to sell more 3-day refreshes if you're going to make the investment in a 3-day refresh. So you want to share that journey. So what I now say to people is buy the 3-day refresh and buy it with packets, and buy them with vegan packets, because if you don't drink vegan Shakeology, it's great to show that you truly are doing the refresh the way it was intended, and the refresh is intended for you to be vegan for 3 days. So use vegan Shakeology when you do the refresh. Now you have all of these packets. So you've shared everything on social media, you've done the 3-day refresh, you've showed your before and after. Maybe you get people to join you, maybe you don't, but I promise you're planting seeds. And now you've got all these packets. Well, you're starting conversations with people. What I used to do 4 years ago is I would make these cute little bags, and I would put 3 little packets of Shakeology, and I would sell them for $15 because I didn't have the extra money to just be like, here, here, here. So I would sell them. So I would say, here, if you want to try it for 3 days, really, it's going to clean out your system. It's not going to be long enough for you to really feel the energy, but it gives you an idea on what it's like, and if you can see yourself getting into the habit of drinking Shakeology. Maybe you put 5 packets in, right? But if you sell them at $5, you're going to make your money back. And so there are plenty of coaches, when they sign up their husband, they get that commission back, and then they sell their 20 packets for $5 each, and now you've recouped the cost, and now you can put your husband's account on hold if you need to, right? Because you've got another coach maybe on the same leg as your husband to keep you emerald, okay? Why is it important for your husband to have the top spot? This is where it gets a little bit tricky, so bear with me, guys. Okay, we're gonna talk about inherited volume here, and we're gonna talk about how you and your husband will end up making residual income off of whoever your personally sponsored coach is. If you're on this call, I'm your personally sponsored coach. So if you're a business builder, you want to be lined up with another business builder, because that's how you get inherited volume. If you're underneath a coach that isn't a sharing coach, then you're not going to make any inherited volume, and I'll explain that. So here's you, and that's you, okay? And let's just pretend, it doesn't matter if you're on my right leg, if you're on my left leg, it doesn't matter for this particular example. But you're at the very top, okay? And I'm right above you, all right? And I want you to think of this as a line, all right? So if you came on January 1st as a coach, and let's say you're on my left leg, every single coach I have added onto the left leg, which is the same leg that you're on, every single coach I have added since January 1st is in succession. They keep going down. You're here, and all the coaches I've added are after you, which means every single coach that I have added on since you became a coach, you now are making 90 PV every time their Shakeology ships. Is everyone with me so far? Cool. Okay, so every time you're adding a coach, so this says, this is you, this is me, this is you, this is me, right? So you're adding coaches to your left leg, I'm adding coaches to my left leg. The reason it's called your strong leg is because every coach I'm adding, you're getting volume. Every coach you're adding, we're both getting volume. That's why when I talk about the fact that we're binary, you want me to do well, and I want you to do well, because that line gets bigger with more volume, okay? So what you do is when you decide to make a decision to bring your spouse on, you bring your spouse on, and I will say to you, Jamie, you're on my left leg, which means your husband needs to go where? On the left leg. Why do we want the husband there? Because we want him on that same line. So now your husband comes on June 1st. So every coach I have added since June 1st, he's making volume on, you're making volume on. You've been making volume on everyone since January, right? So the point is that when you're looking at you want your spouse on the very, very first little nodule underneath you, because that is the number one spot, because every coach you add after, your husband makes volume on. So now your husband makes volume on your coaches, and your husband is making volume on my coaches. So when you make your husband an emerald, and even if you don't want to be a diamond coach, you want to be an emerald, you're eventually going to build your husband to an emerald, because now guess what? Your husband's account is Team Cycle bonusing. So when you add 5 coaches in the month of November and you put them on the same leg as your husband, and all 5 of those coaches buy Shakeology at 90 PV, that's 450 PV that now you and your husband are both going to make Team Cycle bonus on, and you have all the volume that you're inheriting from me. So that's why as you grow and I say to you, hey, you say, oh my goodness, my cousin wants to be a coach and she wants to like sell to a couple of her friends. She doesn't really know what she wants to do, but she's a teacher and she wants to sell to some of her teachers. I will say to you, great, put her on your weak leg. Why does she go on the weak leg? Because your cousin will generate volume on the opposite leg that you're getting inherited volume from me. So that 200, 100 for Team Cycle bonus, now you've got the weak leg generating volume without you doing much, and you've got all my inherited volume, and now you are starting to Team Cycle bonus, and so is your spouse. Okay? I just threw a lot at you guys. How are we doing? Is it like a little more clear? Kathy?
Oh, well, the only thing is I was watching a video on Team Beachbody, and it said to put your husband on the weaker leg, but you're saying no.
Yeah, so there is like 2 different schools of thought, okay? So I think the reason that I say put your husband on the strong leg is because my husband is on my weak leg. And I didn't have any direction when I did this. I didn't even know about weak leg, strong leg, because my coach didn't sell. My husband was on my weak leg, and it was a mess. I did not make Team Cycle bonus for probably the first 2 years that I was a coach. So the more I studied it, and the more like the other school of thought is you put your husband on your weak leg and you build your husband, and then you're getting inherited volume. But the fact of the matter is that not every single coach gets inherited volume. Like my coach didn't even coach for the first year and a half. So I had no inherited volume on my strong leg. So I put my husband on my weak leg, and then I had all my selling coaches on my weak leg. And then that became my strong leg, and I didn't Team Cycle bonus at all. I basically worked for free for the first 2 years. I kid you not. So I've studied this a ton, and it's 2 different, here's the thing. If there's ever a mistake and somebody is like, oh my goodness, I put my husband on my weak leg and it's been 5 days and I can't move him, it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to completely have one-on-ones with you, and the strategy is going to be totally different than what I'm teaching you guys right now. But I'm teaching you guys right now, and this is how I've taught the whole team. If you put your husband on the same leg where you're getting inherited volume and you're putting every other coach on your weak leg, you will team cycle bonus faster. Promise you.
Got it.
So yes, you will see different schools of thought out there. And I guess because I'm that person that has the husband on the weak leg, I personally think that strategy stinks because it didn't work for me. And I don't know why I stuck around for 2 years making no money, but most people would not.
Okay.
For the amount of time I was putting into it. Yes, Jamie.
So basically, if any coach, if I was going to sign up coaches, I should coach them on the, I don't know, whichever leg I'm not on of yours, like anytime. So I would never really add anybody on that strong side, that inherited volume side. I should always add the coach on the opposite side.
Yes, that is correct. If you get to a point where you want to go for diamond, then I would be coaching you separately because you're going to need 4 and 4 coaches. But what we would do first is we would build up your weak leg first, and then we would slowly build up your strong leg so that you would team cycle bonus faster.
Okay.
Well, because you have to eventually in order to even get emerald, you have to put at least one coach on the weak leg. Right?
Yeah.
If you're putting your spouse on your strong leg, whichever leg that is that I'm on under you, I have to get one coach that I stick on the other side regardless to get emerald. If I'm understanding, right?
Yep, that is exactly right. And then like if you had a 3rd or 4th or 5th coach, I would say keep them on the weak leg. Keep them on
all
the
there.
leg.
Got you.
Right. And that's if you keep your husband active, right? So what some people do, because not every husband drinks Shakeology, a lot of them end up drinking Shakeology down the road. Like my husband finally drinks Shakeology. But some people, if they're using Energize, if they're getting beach bars, what they'll do is now their husband's a coach and they're like, okay, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. They cancel the Shakeology HD because they don't want any more of that. Or some coaches keep getting the packets because they're selling them and it's going great and they're making their money back. So then it's like, okay, well, I want a tub of Energize, that's 40 PV. And I want 1 box of beach bars, that's 20 PV. So that just comes on HD for the husband's account and that keeps that account active. So you'll see, and then like Sean, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So to stay as an active coach, you need what? How many PV again? I forget.
50.
Yeah.
So then what'll happen is too, like, Sean T's program comes out, or they come out with Shakeology pumpkin spice is coming out. Now that your husband has an account, you will most likely never, ever, 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 ever buy things from your own account. You will buy it from your husband's account. Why? Because when your husband buys a box of pumpkin spice latte for 70 PV, it keeps him active, and that 70 PV rolls up to you. And so now you're actually making money on your husband's purchase because you're making team cycle bonus. So remember, the team cycle bonus is you have to have 100 on one side and 200 on the other side. Okay, so again, your strong leg is getting inherited volume. So remember the example I just gave you guys. You have a coach, you sign up 5 coaches in the month of November. All of those coaches buy Shakeology for 90 PV, right? So that's 450 PV on one leg. So you want the other leg to have 100 as many times as possible so that your team cycle bonusing. When you have 200 and 100, that's $14. 200 and 100, that's $14. So you'll see your team cycle bonus. Everyone starts off at $14, and then it goes to 28, and then it goes to 36, and then it goes to, it keeps going, because you'll see that the more volume you have, you start to team cycle bonus several times a week and then several times a day, right? And then as your rank increases, so diamond coaches make $18 in team cycle bonus, right? So there's just other ways that you can make income. And then let's say, here's another thing, that you have coaches underneath you that are making team cycle bonus. So your husband now makes $14. you always make 10% of what your coach's team cycle bonus. So when your husband makes $14, you make $1.40, right? Which doesn't sound like a big deal. But when you have a coach like Juliet, who's making $800 a week in team cycle bonus, and I make $80 just because Juliet team cycle bonus $800, you'll have coaches that whether or not you could have 5 coaches making $28, and that's like an extra $30 that you're going to make because you make 10% on team cycle bonus for every coach underneath you. So as your husband continues a team cycle bonus, like my husband team cycle bonus almost $1,000 last week. So that's obviously shared income, but then I made 10% off that. That's another $100 just for his team cycle bonus. Does that make sense? So my husband's account is team cycle bonusing to the point that it's a significant part of our income, which makes me think back to the very beginning when I was like, why would I want to sign up my husband? Well, you sign up your husband because it just gives you another means to have income to make yourself profitable. That's it. Okay, just threw a lot at you guys. I'm not going to get into carryover volume today because I think I've thrown enough at you guys. But who has gotten to the part in training or who's already gone through training where you've watched all the videos on team cycle bonus and spouse? Jamie has. Okay. Kathy, because you're done. Kay, you're done with training. Yeah. Is it starting to sink in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, starting to. I would still have a ton of questions, but I don't want to.
It takes a while. So when you sign your spouse up as well, that's 2 Success Club points, and it's the commission. And then you would stop your husband's HD Shakeology if you don't want Shakeology. And then you just have to figure out the best way for you to get your 50 PV if you want to keep him active. Sometimes what happens, like maybe in Kay's situation, you might keep your husband active for like 2 months to stay Emerald, and then you get someone else and you're like, you know what, I'm going to backfill my husband for a minute because I need to figure out how I'm going to keep him active. So we're going to keep my husband inactive. So all you're doing is you're paying the $15 monthly fee for your husband, which is basically like your insurance to keep that spot. And then don't forget, the more time that goes on, you've got a building coach above you. So you will see if you go into your back office and you go to the genealogy view, right, where you see all the little people. Have you guys explored that in the back office? Okay, so let me show you really quick because I'm seeing a no. So if you go back here, let's see, and you go to monitor my business, geographic genealogy, where you see all these people, all right? So the first time, I'll never forget, if it has a PS on it, that means it's your personally sponsored coach. If it doesn't, like Kirk Blomgren here, that is inherited volume from me, or it's a coach that one of your coaches has signed up. Okay, so you can see here where all of your geographical inherited volume is. You can also see it if you go to, if you're on your home page, and let's say you haven't brought a coach on, but you see that you have X amount of coaches in your organization. If you did not bring a coach on this week, but that number is lit up to 1 or 2 or 3, that means you're getting inherited volume. So it's sort of easy to track. The easiest way, I think, is to just go and look at where all the little people are, and you can sort of start to see it visually, and that helps make it a little bit more understandable. So that's my goal, guys. Like, here's the thing. I'm a very stable Star Diamond coach, right? Like, it doesn't benefit me for you guys to be emeralds. Okay. So I'm not trying to do anything other than give you tips that I wish someone would have given me when I first started. I wish that I would have had my husband on my strong leg because I would have been profitable way sooner than I was. But no matter what kind of coach you are, coaches don't do this for free forever. right? And it's important that you, regardless of what your goals are, regardless of what your financial goals are, you have to feel like the time you're putting into Faithfully Fit Academy or inviting people or starting conversations with people or responding to likes, there's got to be some return on investment for that time, even if that means just getting your Shakeology paid for. So these are the things that I'm telling you, that if you are going to look at this as a business, then you have to make investments in your business. Just like if you were to open up a store down the street, you can't just open up a store and expect for people to walk in. You've got to put some money and some skin in the game into it to get anything back. And that spouse account is the one thing that if you are consistent with Success Club, and if you're consistent with doing your vitals, and if you're consistent with inviting people to be in challenge groups, and then they're upgrading to be discount coaches, your organization will grow. My organization was all discount coaches the very first 6 months. That's it. I wasn't asking people to be a coach because I didn't know I was supposed to. I didn't understand the duplication. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I was teaching myself how to do this off of YouTube. So I became a diamond coach with my husband and my husband's sister. And I was like, okay, I think I need to make them emeralds. Let me figure out how to do that. And I made Stefan an emerald with my brother and my cousin, and Linnea, my sister-in-law, became an emerald with my other two sister-in-laws. And they just wanted to drink Shakeology. No one had any desire to be a sharing coach. But that got me to diamond, and that got me now team cycling at $18, a little bit more. And it got me to start to understand how I could make an income. And in the beginning, it was just to get my Shakeology paid for. And then I was like, okay, well, gosh, could I make a couple $1,000s and like put it toward a boat? I don't know. Let me try this. And it just started to gradually work. But I would not have kept with this if I was still paying for my Shakeology and my husband's Shakeology and I wasn't bringing anything in. It would have been like spending $500 a month for 6 months straight. You won't last if that happens, even if you love what we do. So that's why I wanted to take the time to explain all this to you guys, because regardless of what your goal is, it's got to be worth your time. There's got to be a return on investment. And this is how you set yourself up to be positioned to get that. Okay? So again, you're your own boss. It's your own business. You make your own choices. My job is to educate. I have a page that I'd totally forgotten about until Tanya reminded me that I had it, because she's like, oh, you've got this page. It's Tracy. It's Faithfully Fit Personally Sponsored Coaches. All of you guys have been invited to it. And I'm actually going to go in there, and I've got a calendar. I'm going to be doing one-on-ones for the month of August. So if you want a one-on-one about your particular situation, where you are in Faithfully Fit Academy, if you want me to look at your downline, if you want to review goals, if you just want to talk, obviously I'm available at any time. It's sort of, I still have 3 weeks left of summer. And as Jamie knows, with kids running around, it's a little bit different than it is in fall. I'm a little bit less accessible than I normally am. So that's why for the month of August, I'm carving out, here's where I have my babysitter, here's when I'm available. And I want to do one-on-ones because I don't want to wait till the kids are back in school in September and then be like, let's do one-on-ones, because then all of a sudden it's like the middle of September and we're 6 weeks out. So I'm going to be putting that link in Faithfully Fit Personally Sponsored Coaches. And if you want a one-on-one, go in there. It's a little calendar. You just pick what time you want, and we can get those set up so that we can have a combo if that needs to happen, and I can make myself available for you. Okay? Cool. Okay, does anybody else have anything before we hang up? No? No. Okay. I'm doing the Coach FAQ tomorrow night, so maybe I'll see some of you, maybe I won't. Bring your questions. If not, it'll be recorded and I'll put it in Faithfully Fit Central. Okay? All right, guys. Peace. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.